Exclamation, everybody, and welcome to Starship Theory. It's by Reconnect Software. It's currently $11.99 US on Steam. It is in early access. This is the 1.0B version of the game. It's a frustratingly difficult, I'm not sure what classification we give it. It's kind of a, I guess it's like a dwarf fortress kind of thing in space, only with graphics and stuff like that. I don't know what classification those games are in, but it is certainly frustratingly difficult, and you will get some pretty poor runs in this. It is very highly RNG dependent right now. Some balancing has happened recently, but it's still, well, let's just put it this way. I'm going to be probably extremely frustrated as we go through this. Without further ado, let's get into a new game, shall we? Because my last crew died, as they tend to do. And you get a crew at random here, and all these things. This is agility, endurance, engineering, intelligence, and combat. And I think this looks pretty good. Now you start out in an escape pod, which you can really call it whatever you want if you want to. This is where the game gets it's a really rough start. if I'm to be completely honest here. So the idea behind this is that you're in a ship that's constantly moving forward, assuming your engines are online. And you're building the ship out as you go. So you always start out in this like little escape pod thingy. And there's all kinds of icon menus here that are crazy pants when you look at them. Why did nothing remember? I hate that. Like, I had these all moved over into positions that were relatively straightforward, and it has not remembered those positions. You'll see why in a minute, because these menus get really crazy after a while. Why I'm moving them around here. Here's our cargo, and here's various things about our ship. The status, the structure, and shields and all that stuff. So you start out on a very plain Jane thing here, and you really need to start expanding and upgrading. Now, you start out with 65 metal and 15 silicon and 5 gold, along with 400 credits in your cargo bay. You've got water for the crew and food. Getting them to drink water is easy. Getting them to actually use the food, or actually build a food replicator, a food station, extremely difficult. You'll see in a moment what I mean by that, because I probably won't be able to do it successfully. But let's get some of this moved around. All right, so first things first, we need to assign people to stations. Now, I usually start out with 2 engineers, and I'll get 1 on the military, just because I think military uses the mining. You need 1 for the mining stuff, and then I'd usually just throw 1 on. We'll throw 1 on science, even though it doesn't really make sense to do that right now, because I can't. Even though I've got research things here, I don't have a research station, so that's not really going to do a whole lot. Now under engineering, we've got hull blocks. You need to do hull blocks before you can do additional floor space. And then you can see our tasks get fleshed out. I guess I could put these over here, because that constantly gets in there. And then you can reorganize your tasks and all that stuff, and it'll tell you how much metal is required and all that fun stuff. In the meantime, I want to also, let me see, we've already made it into some asteroids here. So I'm already behind the times. We're going to need a mining laser, and especially we're going to need heat vents. Now, 2 heat vents should be enough for 1 mining laser, although you will get into situations where even that's kind of pushing it a little bit. We also need more CPU for the mining stuff, and we need some more power too. There's a reason why I had these go out in this order, because my engineers construct the hull in the order in which you've placed them. So that's why I actually should have had them go over here and do stuff, but whatever. Get that going there, and then get a CPU panel underneath of it. And then I want to get, let's get the construct CPU panel up there, and the construct solar panel up to the top. So these guys take it over as soon as they're finished doing their thing there. So that'll get us started, nearly started. Then I'd like to get some floor space here, if at all possible. This is not, like, you can see, you can put floor down as long as it is surrounded on all sides by hull. and that includes here, like, you would think putting hull here and hull there would be enough to put floor there, but it's not. It has to be all 3 blocks. It has to be surrounded by hull in order to allow that. In the meantime, while that is going forward, so we got that going for us. Really, the only thing I can do is wait now, and I can increase the speed of the frame here, of the time. There's a ship on an intercept course. You'll get intercepted by lots of ships along the way. Most of them so far have been friendly, but there are times when you will encounter a hostile. This guy is friendly. He's neutral actually, and this is where you can buy and sell crew and stuff for credits. You can sell for credits and things like that. What I want to do though, they're starting to work on the mining laser and stuff. I want them to get the mining laser done before, and also, you know, you'll have to repair things along the way. Like you can see our small engine needs a little bit of repairs now, stuff like that. Some of these asteroids will actually damage your ship, like when they come close. Hopefully this one won't do it, because really this is what ends your runs right off the bat. Oh, that guy, yep, see, that one hit us, but all it did was take out one of the power things. So yeah, this requires 5 power, so we gotta go. It's not going to end our run this time around, but it's a real pain in the neck, let me tell you, because honestly, most of the time you get hit by one of these things, you end up with no cargo left, and you're just done. There's nothing you can do. You can wait and hope that another ship shows up that you can buy metal and stuff off of, but most of the time you don't have enough credits to do it, and you know, your guys are often starving at that point too, so it's just not, it's a difficult one to figure out here. Mining laser I can put on a control group, so we'll put that on control group 1, so I can just hit 1 to do that. We'll power on our heat vents, and hopefully this asteroid won't damage us as we go by it. Let's power this one on too. Excellent. I don't know why this is all off filter here, but it is. We'll power the mining laser on, but then I'll turn it off here. Okay, so now that's on, I can start trying to do some mining, but these are mostly big asteroids. Oh, that one actually gave me some stuff. You're looking for the colored asteroids, like the red and blue. Red is metal, blue is silicon, yellow or gold is gold. Up here is the heat meter. As you use your mining laser, or as you use things, the heat meter goes up. You can see I have 10 units possible of heat. That's what the heating, the radiators are for, or to try to radiate out that heat. Let's get some floor built here as well. That's to try to radiate out some heat, and by having 2 of these I get 10 units of heat. As you start mining big rocks and stuff, or you start to mine rocks that have actual minerals in them, your heat level starts to go up. If it goes past 10, you start to do damage to the mining laser. If it gets too high, the mining laser is destroyed, and there's also fires on your ship and stuff. It's very, very unforgiving. which I wouldn't have a problem with the unforgivingness of it, except that it's very easy for your run to just get decimated. Like, there's no middle ground between I can recover. It's almost impossible to recover from something unless you're far along in the game and you've got tons and tons of cargo. Early on in the game here, especially the first half an hour to 45 minutes, one bad event and that's it. You're done. You might as well just reset your run, which is really frustrating. So let's get a water cooler set up. Now this we can put anywhere we want because it doesn't require it to be facing a certain way. However, it does require 2 metal, and we don't have any metal. So here's where we have to sit here and just wait. I can speed up time, certainly. They said there's an asteroid field coming. These guys are going to constantly complain about not having any water. Actually, I could put my crew up here so I can see their stats. You can see all the stats of your crew, and their morale and their hunger and all that stuff, and what they're currently working on. But what I've had happen here is a lot of waiting around for stuff to happen. Then stuff starts to happen and it all happens at once and you can't process it. Okay, here we go. We're getting some asteroids now. Let's see if we can get something out of this. You can see over on the left-hand side there, my heat going up. So just have to keep an eye on that as we go. All right, there's some metal. So now they're going to, looks like we've got a planet coming up. All right, so they're building the water cooler, which is nice. There's a ship detected on long-range sensor or scanners. That's fine. And I just need to make sure I keep my mouse pointing the right way. That didn't give me anything of use, unfortunately. Let's see. Oh, there's some metal. All right, so we got some metal here. Now, there's the problem I've had. I've tried to put a food dispenser down 20 times a Sunday, and it never works. So I'm going to see if I can put this way maybe, and maybe they'll use it, because most of the time they won't actually build it. They'll just stand there and look at me like I've got 20 heads. Now this one, it does require silicon, which we don't have. So I'm going to try and get some silicon here. Looks like another trader has come out, jumped out of warp. Let's get our components over here or something, because there's a lot of UI micromanagement you gotta do, and you can turn things off too, but it's a bit awkward. They do have some UI scaling. I've scaled up the UI to 2 times here, or 1.1, because it is ridiculously small when you're playing at like a 1080p. Oh look, they're going to actually make looks like they're actually going to make the food thing. That's fantastic. Or was that just fire? They were just putting out a fire. I don't know. Struck food dispenser. They do not want to make that. They're trying to make it, but they're not doing it. And that's the thing that's boggling my mind, is I don't know why. Oh, and we're overheating here a little bit, so let that get fixed here. Okay, they're starting to make it. They're starting to make it a little bit. I, for some reason, could not get them to make this food freaking oh, and now it's destroyed. It's like I cannot freaking make them make this food dispenser. I don't know why it's so broken, but it is very, very broken. And the one big problem I have with the game right now, besides a lack of tutorial, like the only way I know how to do anything in this game is because I looked on the Steam community page, and someone had put up a community posting that said, here's how to get started. There is no tutorial in the game. They literally just drop you right in. Now I realize that it's early access and all that stuff, but I really am starting to dislike these wiki games. These games are like, just go look up on the wiki. Yeah, everything you want is on there. No. Put something in the game. Like, you're going to sell this game, whether it's early access or not. Spend a little time. I know that I often complain about, tutorials that are just pictures and not actual descriptive things, but at least that's better than nothing. That's at least better than nothing. All right, we have a food dispenser. Okay, it requires 2 power, so we need another solar panel. Sure, put that out there. Everything will be great, and then it will be spectacular. This is working out a lot better than it has in the past, my friends. I could not get them. This food dispenser has to be facing a certain way in order for them to use it. And let me tell you, they are very picky about it. And a lot of times, the bugs that I've run into here, and I'm calling them bugs, but I have no idea if it's intended or not. But more often than not, the bugs that I run into on this are just your people will just stop doing things. Like they'll have tasks to do. There'll be all kinds of stuff on the task list, and they'll just not do anything. Which is a real pain in the neck and in and of itself, I wouldn't have a problem with that necessarily, because I get that they're trying to do they all have personalities and all this stuff, and they have their own basic needs to fulfill and things. But what I need here is let's get a research station going so I can get some research going for utilities and things, if they'll decide to do it. We need 10. Okay, I don't have 10 silicon yet for it. But it's just, and I'm trying not to build anything more because we're so low on cargo. So this is part of the game, is just kind of sitting here just with nothing to do. And a lot of times the game will just throw, like, you're constantly going in one way here. You can jump. You can execute a warp jump if you're really in the shit. But for the most part, you're just going forward. You have no control over which direction you're going to go. And you'll run right across stars, and you'll have to deal with all the heat damage from stars. They're saying they can't access food. Why can't they access food? Like, there's literally a food station there. See, this drives me freaking insane. Like, why is that not working? Like, I actually got them to build it this time around, which is fantastic. But yeah, they're not actually taking any. This is frustrating beyond belief. This is not the kind of frustration you want in a game. If you want frustration in a game, have it be frustration that you can actually recover from. This is nonsense, and this is the kind of stuff I've been fighting with on this game for a while here. Is just, I can't. My big main point is that there is no feedback as to what is wrong. They have a whole notification panel, right? They have this notification panel here, which is now covered up by everything, right? They got this beautiful little notification panel. Doesn't do a damn thing. It doesn't give me anything, any idea as to why something can't be built. It doesn't tell me why my people aren't listening to things. You can directly control a person. You can go and say manual control, and then tell them to go do something. I think, are we coming up to a star here? Looks like we might be. You can say manually go do something. But even then, when you click on them and you click on something to do, they'll just kind of sit there and not do anything, and they won't tell you why they won't do it. You know, it's just, you need feedback. That's the one big problem so far with the game, is that there's no feedback when things aren't working as to why they're not working. Now, this food replicator thing, I mean, seriously, how many ways do you want me to flip this around before these guys? Oh, now they're using it. Now they're actually using it now. Why is it now facing the right? Like, there's no way for me to easily tell which is the correct way for that to be facing. right? It just doesn't, because they got this weird 3/4 view kind of going on that I can't tell what is the front facing side of something. So they really need to work on that a lot, because like I can tell from the one console which side is supposed to be facing, which is great. That's awesome and everything. But this food thing is just, it's crazy pants. Like, get some better art for that. You need to be able to know which way is front, even if it's just like put the word top on it or front on it, so you know which way it's supposed to actually go. All right, so some repairs are being done to the engine. We still don't have enough silicon for what we want to do. I don't like the trajectory of this asteroid, but we seem to be okay so far. It's fine. Let's get some of that. Very good. And grab some of that. The only problem I've noticed is that it's hard to tell, since the yes, I can move things around in the UI, but it's still hard to tell when you're hitting your heat limit. And I think they need something a little bit more visible on your ship, like maybe the laser beam itself should change color or something if you're hitting your heat limit or something like that, or give an alert or something. You know what I mean? Like some kind of feedback. I guess my main complaint right now is there's not a whole lot of feedback, especially when you're not doing something right. And so it makes it hard to learn from your mistakes when you don't know what went wrong in the first place. Right? And see now he said systems overheating, which is great. That is some kind of feedback, but it's not prominent enough. Oh yeah, we did do some damage to it too. It's not prominent enough that I can really see it. We still need silicon, huh? We still need silicon. Let's see if I can get some. That would be really fantastic. No, not getting any thus far. So it's a whole lot of just kind of waiting around until you actually get what you need. And then once you've gotten that, you have to take it step by step, trying to go and very slowly increase the size of your ship. And it's, like I said, the worst I can say about it is that it's just your runs it's so heavily dependent on RNG. Like, it's hard to, when you have a game like this that has so much RNG in it, it's hard to enjoy it for me, because I need to, like, if I knew, like, it feels like there's a lot of stuff that's just out of your control, which I know a lot of people who like those kinds of games. But it's the problem with taking it out of your control is that you don't know how you're going to be able to. Oh, there's a star detected ahead. You're not going to. You can't really get better at the game because you don't know what it's going to throw at you. Like, now it's going to throw a star at me, which means we're going to overheat a little bit. Well, we're definitely going to overheat, and there's going to be fires and stuff going on in the ship. Now, I have not tried the jump yet, so I don't know. We're fully capable of jumping. I just don't know what's if this will get me past the star, and so I don't take damage from it. I don't know. I guess we're going to try it. How far are we from the star? I don't want to do it too early and then end up jumping right into the middle of it. Let's zoom all the way out and see what's going on here. And then I haven't even gotten as far as constructing defenses or anything like that, because it's just, this is about as far as I've gotten. This is actually a better run than I've had the last 6 runs that I've done. Okay, here's the star now. So let's see if I can jump past it. I can't jump past it because do I not have a jump drive? I guess I don't have a jump drive, huh? Because it's like, nope, you can't jump past this. Let's go to red alert just so everybody is ready for this, for the heat. So the heat's going to be on. Let's see, yeah, we got fires and stuff now. Got the red alert going. So they're ready to focus on repairs. Which is good. I wonder, yeah, I guess I just don't have a jump drive, huh? Is there one under energy? Oh, there's a warp core. Doubles jump drive, recharge speed. Wait, what's that'll be built on corners. Large engine. Huh. I do not know. Do not know where that comes into play at, because it's certainly not letting me do anything. And then we can, once we get past this and everything is repaired. There we go, that's repairing. Keeping that going. I think we're past the star now, alright? So let's let them put out that fire. I think we're past the star. No, we're still taking damage. It's hard to tell how long it takes. Yeah, we're still taking lots of damage. So we're still not quite out of the star's effect range. It's hard to tell exactly when you get out of that range either. It's just, you'll just keep taking damage over and over again and be well past where you would think you would have to be for it. Ship cargo, 43 units available. Food, credits. I guess I could just go forward fast here. Oh, fucking hell, man. We're losing stuff. Okay. Well, we're doing okay now, I think. Got the floor repairing, hopefully done. At some point, they'll finish repairing the floor. That'd be great. Alright. Because that'll happen too, like, it'll damage the blueprint that you put down, which is annoying as hell, right? And then it's like, you have to go and remember what you had put there and then have to put it back down again, like the research station and stuff. But I think we're okay now. I think we can go back to... I think we can turn that off. There we go. Alright, let everybody sleep and do their things here. So, can I do this freaking research station now? I still don't have enough silicon for it. Alright, well maybe we'll have a trader come along that I can just buy some off of. I mean, it's getting to that point where it's like, alright, I'm just going to kind of sit around and wait. Like I said, this is a better run than I've had before. At this point, I've either been dead or damn near close. I've had the floor get damaged so much that it actually gives way, and then you just have a hull breach, and then everybody inside just dies, which is fantastic. It's just, like I said, there's a lot of tweaking they're going to have to do here to make this game not be total BS when it comes to like the difficulty. Everything else about the game, I like what they're going for, and I like what they're doing here. Ooh, we got asteroids coming in, so I can do some mining. That's good. That's very good. If I could just get some silicon, we'd be even better. Oh, there was one, right? Or was that? That must have been water or something. There's nothing in those asteroids, huh? Whole lot of nothing in them. Let's see if I can get something in this guy. Maybe? Well, there's some metal, but that's not really what I want at this point. I accidentally clicked. Turns it off again when you left click or right click. There's some, right? No, that's water. Okay. So silicon is like a more of a purplish color. Alright, so we gotta try and find that somewhere here. Probably shouldn't even try this rock because it's too big, I imagine. Ship coming in. Yeah, that rock is too big. That's not gonna happen. If I had multiple mining lasers, that might have worked. Go. Still nothing, huh? Still a whole lot of nothing. This is unfortunately what you have to look forward to when you're playing this game. I mean, assuming you can make it through some of the other nonsense to get here. Okay. Now there is another thing, like if I could get the research station built, I could research, making food and stuff, which would be fantastic. Do they have silicon? They do have silicon. No, they have sell to target. They don't have buy silicon. Well, I can buy metal from them, but I can't buy silicon from them. Well, that sucks. All right. Those guys are useless. Now there's a mining console too, but it requires one research thing, and I don't know if that means that they will automatically mine for me instead of me having to do it. That would be great if that were the case. I have no idea. Nothing, like I said, nothing about this game is explained at all. So if you're the type of person who you're kind of leery about early access to begin with, don't get into this yet. This game, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, it's infuriating at times. This has actually been a much more pleasant run than I've had for a while here. But it's when it's bad, it's infuriating, and you'll just run after run after run, just fail for no good reason. Like it's just, you just get to a point where it's there's a lot of BS going on. There's not a lot of there's far too many instances when you are just out of options. I think is the real problem. I think if as they're working on this, they're going to want to come up with ways that you can pull your ship out of the doldrums that it has found itself in. You know what I mean? Like ways to recover. Oh, see, there's a, and now we can't use our mining laser at all. Now, luckily, I have some cargo, so we can repair some of this. But we're going to need the power again, so we got to go engineering, and we need small solar panel. We need that out here. I can't put it on this side because that still needs repairs. I need a CPU panel as well, I believe. Over there. Let them try and repair that stuff. Oh, and there's even more damage. Fantastic. Fan-freaking-tastic. There's 7 power there. That one's not doing its thing. Can we get some of these done, please? That would be really fantastic. I mean, I know you guys are repairing stuff, but we need to. There's so many resources around us that we need here. And of course now my silicon's all gone. So I need 14 silicon and I can't get it now. The only way I can this is what I'm talking about right here. And we're also out of food, which is just fantastic. So this right here is the epitome of what I'm talking about. This is bullshit. Like complete bullshit. Like there's no. The only way that I can salvage this is if I get lucky enough that someone arrives that I can buy silicon off of. Which is random. It seems to be random at that. And also we have no food, so eventually these people are just going to die anyway. Right? It's like I get that they want this game. They want the game to be difficult. They want it to be sort of like a Dwarf Fortress-y thing where just nonsense goes down. But it's not like when you're in a situation like this, I would want there to be a way for me to be able to pull myself out of this situation. Like, that's what makes a game fun, right? It's like, hey, you know what? I found myself in a crappy situation. Now can I find my way out of it? You know what I mean? Without having to save Scum. And this game is like, it seems like the only way to do it. And now we got a star coming up now, which will be pretty much the end of us at this point. Now we've got a situation where basically the only way I could get out of this is to save Scum or just start a new run. That's it. And that's crappy. That's really crappy. Now I get again that this is early access and they're still working on it, and I get all that. But I'm trying to emphasize this as much as possible. You need to have ways to pull your ship off the brink. Like, the more ways you give players to be able to really pull themselves out of a bad situation, the more endearing, the more fun the game becomes, because now these people have been through hell, right? And you've gotten used to them, and they're leveling up, and they're getting all these skills, and you know the story has been built now. That's really the thing about these sort of survival games and stuff, is that it's all about creating a player story. Like, yes, a story has arisen because of all the crap these people have gone through. It's the whole, like, what was that, boat murdered or whatever it was thing from Dwarf Fortress. Is like, the big part of that game is the stories, the emergent stories that come out of it, because despite all the hardships, you're able to work through it and get to the end. This, I mean, for Christ's sake, my water cooler is on fire. How does a water cooler get on fire? I don't know. Oh, and now that floor has been damaged, so now everybody who's not in a spacesuit's about to die. So let's see if I can make them all engineers so that they get their spacesuits on. Maybe? Yes, no? You guys gonna put spacesuits on? No, you're just gonna sit there and die. You're not gonna put spacesuits on, right? You're just gonna die. You have no cares in the world, huh? This is what happens. And then one has just died. This other one's gonna die now because they have no oxygen, and none of these engineers will be able to repair that floor fast enough to make any difference. So at this point, basically, so now I'm 2 crew members down. We got a hole in the ship, and nobody can repair it. We've got only 10 metal left. We have no other cargo to speak of. This, my friends, is the definition of bullshit. Like, seriously, this is the kind of thing that you should never, like, this should only happen if you've done 900 things wrong, right? This should be the end game of we've been out in space for 22 years and everything just finally caught up with us, right? Not, I've been playing for 25 minutes and now my whole run is just done. That's basically what it is. There's no point in continuing this run. It's just done at this point, right? It's just, and then you got to start over again. And then you start over again with the same set of conditions. I could do the same things I did before and end up 25 minutes down the line in the same freaking situation. It's like you can't pull yourself off the brink. And that is what's pissing me the hell off about this so much. So the best thing I can say to anybody is, what does this guy want? Yeah, see, we had a guy show up and all I could do was sell to him. I can't buy anything off of him. So that's like the worst thing ever, right? It's like, I can threaten them, I can bribe them, I can't buy anything from them. All you can do is sell to them. It's like, that is beyond useless. Like, I could not, even if this guy had shown up earlier before we were vented to space here, it would not have helped me. It's just, this right here is what I've been seeing of the game. So the best advice I can give the people, don't buy this right now. This game needs at least 3 more months of being in the oven before you put any money down on it, because it's just not at a point where it's going to be fun yet. I would venture a guess that even people who love games like this, and mind you, I don't necessarily hate these games. I don't necessarily go out of my way for these games either, but I want a fair challenge, right? This is not a fair challenge. This is just imbalanced. And I think it's going to require a lot of work on the developer's part to actually bring some balance back to this before I could basically say to anybody, yeah, now it's time to get in to this and actually play the game. You'll notice on Steam that the reviews are mixed. I think that's a very good, I think that's a very accurate thing. I can see why they would be mixed. I know there's a lot of people who absolutely love these, and there's a lot here to love. There's a lot here right now to hate. Absolutely, with every fiber of your being, hate. So that's why you have to sort of, I would not, and now we're coming up to another star. We've run out of water. These guys are in spacesuits. They're going to suffocate pretty soon. So this run has been done for the last 5 minutes as I bitch and moan here. But you could kind of see what I'm getting at, where it's like, it's not there yet. It's really not there yet. This needs more time in the oven before I could ever recommend anybody to go buy it, because it's just not there yet. And now we're just adding insult to injury right now. Mostly because our engine is knocked out, so we have no dodge abilities now. So yeah, that, my friends, has been Starship Theory. I like what they're doing here. I like, it's a good start. Their UI needs work. I mean, it's good that you can move things around and whatnot, but they need more feedback. A lot more feedback. Like, I need much more feedback as to what's going on, what's not going on, why people aren't following my orders, that kind of thing. And some of the graphics need to be completely updated so that you can tell which way things are facing, especially stuff like the food replicator, where it's got to be facing a certain way. You know, those things have to be really fixed. I mean, it's very important to be able to know where you're going with things and why stuff isn't working and what's happening. And for the love of God, get at least some kind of tutorial, even if it's not like a hold your hand tutorial. At least put something in the game, like, here's what freaking hell, just copy and paste the community thing there. Oh, there's another guy who died. The community posting about the game that gives you the basics, and just put that in the game itself, so that you're not just dumped into it willy-nilly and then not sure how to do anything, or what's going on, or why nothing's working, that kind of thing. So there you have it, my friends. Finally, we've put these guys out of their misery. So that, my friends, has been Starship Theory. That's been a lot of me bitching and moaning, but like I said, I wouldn't bitch and moan as much about something I didn't actually kind of like. I like what they're going for. I like the idea that they're going for. It needs work right now. It needs quite a lot of work. And I get that that's what early access is for, and that's why I've put this video up, to try to help with some of the ideas and stuff around it. The interface, if we look at this real fast, you can see I'm at, they have the tooltips and stuff. I'm at like 1.1 on the scale, because when you do like 1080p, everything's very, very tiny. and you can, move around all this stuff. I like that they have options and stuff here. I like what's going on with that. Some of this stuff, I'm not even sure what this does. Button error sounds, I guess. Yeah, that needs a little bit of work. And here's all the controls, all the shortcuts and whatnot, with some hard-coded bindings. And that's about it. And then at this point, you would just do new, and you would just get yourself a new random crew and try it again, and probably 20 minutes down the line be just as dead as this crew was. But this is the state of it as it is today, my friends. So as always, I will leave links down in the description so you can do your own due diligence on the game and get more information about it. Again, this is Starship Theory. It is by Reconnect Software. It is currently in early access on Steam. It is $11.99 US. This is early access version 1.0B. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and I will see you next time.